That is a song called Leaving of Liverpool. It's been played by a ton of folks. The version that I remember was from the Pogues, although I think the Clancy Brothers, the Dubliners, pretty much everybody under the sun has done a version of it. And I got to do a version of it. I just got back from an awesome weekend of music in Asheville, North Carolina. Played a gig with two other bands, a group from Atlanta called the Muckers, and then a group from Eastern North Carolina called the Tan and Sober Gentlemen. And those folks had me up on stage to play this song because we kind of got chatting about stuff that we were playing to make sure we didn't overlap. And they said, oh, we're going to run that version up. You know, can you play it in D? I said, cool, I'll do that, and popped up on stage and we did it, and it was bonkers. If you haven't heard of those guys, check them out. I'm going to link them down below. They're incredible. They put on a hell of a show. The Muckers have done a couple of shows with us over the years. They put on a hell of a show. They're a great bunch of folks too, all just super talented, and they got some real trad folks in there too, which is kind of awesome. So hopefully we'll get to do more gigs with them. Anyway, let's break down this song here. Good basic melody for you first. We'll play that, and then we'll go back and talk about ornaments, as we usually do. So here we go. Kind of got a marchy sort of vibe, although you could play it at Mach 3. You could play it with a different groove if you wanted, but typically it's sort of that kind of marchy sound. So here's the second half of the A part. Very similar to the first half, except that it just resolves to the bottom D. Hopefully you got that. We're going to jump into the B part now, which has some kind of cool key changes and different chords and stuff. Don't let that worry you. Here we go. So the second half of that is pretty similar to how we did the same spot in the first part. And I said key change, it's not really a key change, it's just sort of got that A major chord arpeggio, however that translates to D. Anyway, here's the second half. Again, ends kind of the same way that the second half of the A part does. So hopefully not too much to work on. I'm going to play the whole thing nice and slow, basic melody, then we'll talk ornaments. So here we go, kind of A, B, or verse chorus, I guess we'd say. So here we go. Hopefully you're able to pick that up and kind of hang with it. Let's talk ornaments. Simple stuff with this, because again, depending on how fast you're playing it or what sort of a groove you're playing on it, this could all change. But to kind of fit that basic groove that I started with, that marchy kind of sound, again, marchy. So starting off with a good cut, and then a cut on that F sharp because you've got that nice long note, long break. You could do a roll if you wanted to. So a couple of options there. Then as I come off that, I'll do that double tap on the F sharp, my kind of crutch move, I guess. Not much there other than that slide on the B. And you could pop that A, the B to A transition if you want. That going from the E to the F sharp, that's another transition I like to do a lot where I'm doing a tongue and then a cut. So combining a couple of things there. Tonguing it gives it that dead stop sort of feel, so it accents it just a little bit more. Good tongue and, tongue and slide. You could tongue cut either way. And then as I come back, I don't think I mentioned this before, I'm doing that crossing noise ornament. So as you go, in this case, from A to G, I kind of catch an accidental F sharp in there. Otherwise the same, I just did an extra tap on the A. Could cut, either way. Could do a slide. All three options all work perfectly well. And then to finish, I'll do that crossing noise thing I just mentioned, going from A to G. Do the same thing here, going to the E, where I get an accidental D to bounce off of there. Then jumping up to that C sharp, I love sliding into that because it's one of those things that sound is kind of unique to the whistle. It's, you know, it's interesting. So, and I'd slide back onto the C sharp, but as I go up to the high E, slide that. You could cut that too. Could do a short roll. Again, options. Sliding back, that crossing noise, whereas when I'm doing the C sharp, I don't want it to sound as much like a tap as I would on the lower crossing noise. I really want it to feel like more of a slide there. Where I don't really, I don't really want to hear that B note. I just want to kind of slide off of it. I'll cran that a lot, more often than not. Could just do a single grace note if you wanted to, but a cran there is a good spot. It kind of makes that bubbly sound that I like. Same popping noise coming off that B to A, optional there. Same as what we do in the A part there. The tap on the G and then a slide, that's kind of a slidey crossing noise ornament coming down the scale. I always do those coming down. And then that last part is a repeat. Just like we did on the first time. Now, when I'm playing this live, I do play this with my band, which is how I happen to know it when they asked me to pop up on stage. When I'm playing it, I'm doing harmonies, I'm doing some other lines and stuff like that. I'm not just playing the melody. I'm of the opinion that tin whistle behind somebody's voice is shouldn't say never, isn't always ideal. Because there's going to be a little bit of variance of tuning, and the tin whistle in particular just doesn't always jive. So if I have the opportunity to do a harmony, I'll usually do that. Keep that in mind when you're playing this, if you're going to be playing this along with somebody, and look for those options, those thirds, those fifths, just some nice simple stuff that'll get you away from the basic melody, but, you know, still sound kind of cool. Particularly if you're playing in a loud environment like I was the other night, getting way up high in the second octave. So let me know what you guys think about this one. I probably should have done a video on this a while ago. It just never really came up. But I'm glad it did. I'm glad to get to play with those cats. Really had a lot of fun. I will see y'all in the next one. Cheers.